All right, so welcome back. We're diving deep today, get it? Deep dive into a single issue of Black Purple. This is a journal about, all about thelemic magical practice and philosophy.
Ooh, philosophy and practice.
And I have to say, this issue is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a real mix of practical advice with some, like, seriously mind-bending philosophy.
Nice.
You ready to jump in?
Oh, absolutely. I'm ready. Yeah, Black Pearl always seems to find that perfect balance between the theoretical stuff, you know, and like rubber meets the road, practical stuff.
Yeah.
This issue, though, what really struck me, I think, is the recurring theme, like woven throughout, of self-discovery.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, like in every article from, you know, just straight philosophy to like actual ritual scripts.
You know, you're right. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to subtly, like, lead us somewhere to, like, a deeper understanding of ourselves, or maybe even, like, our place in the cosmos, you know? Totally. Even the editor's letter, it starts off like this. It's called The Soul in the Machine, and it has this idea, this question.
Okay.
What if our personalities aren't really us?
Oh, interesting.
What if they're more like vehicles, you know?
Okay.
And there's like a higher self at the wheel driving.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's powerful imagery.
Yeah.
The editor, they compare personalities to a computer, right? Like running on its programming.
Okay.
Saying there's an operator, like the higher self.
Uh-huh.
And it's influencing our thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
you know, our actions,
Yeah.
our willpower even.
Wow, that makes me think
Yeah.
about all those times I struggled with willpower. Like, maybe it wasn't just me being weak or something.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe there was more to it.
Right. Okay.
It's like, not just want power, right?
Willpower.
Which is a term the editor uses, kind of jokingly.
I like that. I like that.
But recognizing the influence of this deeper self.
Yeah, you know, and that makes me wonder, how often do we, like, actually pause to listen to that, you know?
Our little voice.
Yeah, the subtle edges of the higher self.
Mm-hmm.
How much time do we actually spend polling for keyboard input?
Polling for keyboard input.
It's what the editor calls it.
Yeah.
It's like tuning in to our own inner wisdom, right?
Yeah.
Like, are we listening?
That's a really good question, actually.
Yeah.
Speaking of inner wisdom,
Yeah.
the article on memory by Sarah Merrill, I don't know, it really got me thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Sarah Merrill's argument is, like, memorizing sacred texts. It's actually crucial for spiritual growth.
Okay.
And she even shares this anecdote. It's pretty amazing.
Okay, what is it?
About Carl Germer.
Carl Germer, okay.
Achieving knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel.
Whoa.
Just by reciting memorized texts.
Wow.
While in solitary confinement.
Well, that's a focus.
Yeah, right.
That's commitment.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Talk about the power of focus, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Even, you know, in the worst circumstances.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Sarah Merrill, she brings up this other really interesting thing.
Okay.
This concept, that memory. It's the only thing we actually carry with us.
Oh, wow.
Through death.
Oh, really?
And into, like, our next lives.
That puts things into perspective.
Doesn't it?
It does.
It makes you wonder, you know, what are
we doing? Yeah.
What are we imprinting on our souls with every single experience we have?
Heavy.
Right.
It's like, what connections and insights
yeah, what do we unlock here?
could we unlock as our minds just, you know, weave this tapestry of memories?
Yeah, Sarah Merrill, she points out that, like, disciplined memorization.
Yeah.
It can lead to some crazy connections between different texts.
Really?
Yeah, almost as if, like, our mind starts to recognize the hidden patterns and deeper meanings.
That actually makes sense.
Right.
Like, the more we
immerse ourselves.
Yeah, immerse ourselves in these powerful words, the more likely we are to
see the connections.
Yeah, how they inform each other.
Totally.
But, okay, before we get too serious here.
Yeah.
I gotta mention this.
Go ahead.
The offbeat explanations section
Oh,
pokes fun at psychological projection.
Okay.
Through this fake Carl Germer quote.
Oh, that's great. It's good to remember.
Yeah.
Even when we're exploring, you know, deep philosophical stuff.
Yeah. Right.
Little humor, it goes a long way.
It helps.
Right. Lightens the mood.
It does.
Reminds that, like, pursuing knowledge.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, you know, dry.
Yeah.
Or super academic.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, now get ready, because we're going deep into Kabbalists' corner.
All right.
They're exploring the number 210 in Thelemic Kabbalah.
Interesting. And guess what?
What?
This ties directly back to what we were just talking about.
Really?
Yeah, the higher self.
Okay.
210, it represents attaining the supernals.
Okay.
The highest realms up there on the tree of life.
Right.
Which are usually associated with the Latin word for night.
Wait, night.
Not
Nox.
That's
yeah,
Tuesday.
It seems counterintuitive.
It does.
Right. We think of spiritual attainment like light.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, brilliant light. But here we have night.
So what?
Well, the article explains that nox, it contrasts with lux, which is light in Latin.
Okay.
And that represents like a much earlier...
A more basic.
Yeah, more basic level of attainment.
So you're saying like true spiritual illumination, it might be so overwhelming that it appears...
Into darkness.
As darkness.
To like our limited perception.
Whoa, that is...
Yeah, it's a trip, right?
It's a trip.
It's like the article calls this experience the night of Bina.
Night of Bina.
Like a direct encounter.
With the higher self.
Exactly.
Intense. So intense that it just transcends our normal understanding.
Of light and dark.
That is...
mind-blowing.
It is, isn't it?
Have you ever heard of St. John of the Cross and his dark night of the soul?
I have. Do you think?
Oh, I bet there's a connection there.
I do too.
Definitely.
Both traditions, it's like they're pointing toward the same thing.
Yeah.
That spiritual awakening, it's not always like a straight line or comfortable even.
It's messy. Yeah.
It's about surrendering and letting go.
Yeah, letting go of all our preconceived notions.
I like that. The article goes on, by the way, to explore all the Hebrew words that are associated with 210.
Interesting.
And it hints at some really fascinating connections to
like what?
Spiritual transformation.
Okay.
And even the feminine divine.
Wow.
I know we don't have time to unpack all that now.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely
intrigued.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I might have to do a deeper dive on that later.
Oh, I'm there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We should compare notes.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Now let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
More practical article.
Right.
It's called Magic Power and Karma Yoga. And it explores how to actually apply like spiritual attainment.
Oh, cool.
In the Adeptus major grade.
Now that's advanced stuff.
Yeah.
Very advanced.
So one of the key takeaways here.
Yeah, what is it?
Is that true magical power, it doesn't come from forcing our will on the world.
Oh, interesting.
But from aligning our will with that of the holy guardian angel.
So it's more about achieving
harmony
between
our individual will.
Yeah, our individual will.
And the divine.
It's like reaching that state of flow,
but
on a much deeper level.
The spiritual level.
Spiritual level, yeah.
And that's where karma yoga comes in.
Karma yoga, right.
That idea that every action creates a ripple effect.
The article highlights ahimsa or harmlessness as a core principle
of the Limbic philosophy. So it's about recognizing like that interconnectedness of everything.
Understanding that our actions, they have consequences.
They do.
And they extend, far beyond ourselves.
Wow.
It's a big concept.
So it's not just about getting power.
Right.
It's about using it
responsibly.
Yeah, responsibly, yeah.
Ethically.
In a way that's good.
For everyone.
Yeah, for everyone.
For all beings.
The article even quotes Swami Vivekananda.
Okay.
Who said that atheism, like not believing at all, is preferable to hypocrisy.
Oh, wow.
For those who haven't actually experienced the divine.
So he's calling for like authenticity.
Yeah.
And integrity.
Okay, now let's move on.
All right.
Something a little more hands-on.
Okay.
It's a ritual script called Aries and the Emperor.
Aries and the Emperor.
Okay, and get this. It's designed to, and I'm quoting here, root out and destroy all that exists which dares to stand in the way of the fulfillment of our true will.
That's powerful.
It is, right?
Yeah.
It uses like fire. Invocations of Martian forces, and even symbolic destruction to help us break free from all those limitations that, hold us back from fulfilling our true purpose.
I see.
And the symbolism here is amazing.
What is it?
It draws on the sign of Aries.
Aries, right.
And the tarot card, the Emperor.
The Emperor.
Both of which represent, action, willpower, taking charge. But it also emphasizes personal responsibility. Yeah. It encourages, you have to identify your own
what?
Limiting beliefs and behaviors.
And work on transforming them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not about blaming
other people.
Yeah, other people or outside forces. It's about recognizing,
our own role.
Yeah, our own role.
And creating our reality.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
Next up, we have an analysis of the Star Ruby ritual.
The Star Ruby ritual.
Which is all about achieving a heightened state of awareness.
So this ritual, it focuses on purifying and balancing.
Balancing what?
The 4 elements.
4 elements, okay.
Yeah, within ourselves.
There's this one image, it really stuck with me.
What is it?
This visualization of standing at the center of a cosmic cross, bridging
Heaven and earth.
Heaven and earth, yeah.
That's a beautiful image.
Isn't it?
Unifying our earthly existence with our higher aspirations.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of bridging realms,
okay.
The next article takes us
where?
To the 18th ether.
The 18th ether.
Called ZN.
Now, for those who might not know, ethers are kind of like
visions.
Mystical visions that map out the inner world, the landscape.
Of consciousness.
Of consciousness, yeah. It's kind of like a roadmap of the soul.
I love that.
Yeah.
And ZN.
ZN.
This is a big one.
Okay.
It's significant.
In what way?
It represents the vault of the adept.
All of the adepts.
A place of, intense transformation.
Wow.
Yeah, and the dissolution of the ego.
Not for the faint of heart.
No, not at all.
The article actually warns about those who enter
ZN.
Yeah, ZN and unprepared.
What happens to them?
They will face serious challenges.
Like what?
Well, the text, it describes 3 ordeals.
Okay.
The desire for light.
Okay.
The desire for life.
Okay.
And the desire for love.
Now those sound
positive, right?
Like good things.
But in ZN, they represent attachments.
Interesting.
That can actually hinder our spiritual progress.
So even
good desires, positive desires,
can hold us back
if we
cling to them.
Yeah, too tightly.
In ZN, it's about
what?
Surrendering to
a state of
pure being.
Pure being.
Letting go of everything. Even things that seem, on the surface beneficial.
To experience ultimate reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense.
He does. How do you prepare for that?
Well, the article, it gives us a clue.
What is it?
It mentions sacraments offered in ZN.
What are they?
Bread.
Bread.
Okay.
Wit. A rose.
A rose. Okay. Each one symbolizing
a
different element aspect of being.
So it's almost like a ritual.
A ritual, yeah.
Preparation.
For the journey.
For the journey, yeah.
Symbolically integrating all the different parts of ourselves.
Yeah.
Before surrendering.
To the transformative power
of ZN.
It's
beautiful.
And speaking of preparation.
Yeah.
There's another article.
Oh, there is.
Called Sacraments of Annihilation.
Sacraments of Annihilation.
That might be worth checking out.
Okay.
It offers personalized invocation
for
each element.
For each element. Okay. So a guide,
Yeah, I think.
For those who are brave enough
right.
to venture into ZN.
I'm adding that to my reading list.
I am too.
It sounds really good.
Now, before we finish up this part of our deep dive.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this review
of
the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali.
Cool.
This edition.
Yeah.
It's really unique.
Okay.
It offers the original Sanskrit.
Cool.
Alongside word-by-word translations.
Oh.
And even
etymological insights.
Etymological insights, yeah.
Right.
So you're getting a deep dive into the language.
Yeah.
And I think it's the perfect way to get a deeper understanding than just reading a standard translation, right?
Right, right.
The reviewer emphasizes engaging with the original language for deeper
meditation,
and contemplation.
That makes sense.
It's like unlocking new layers of meaning.
Like going back to the source.
By going back to the source, exactly. Okay, that wraps up part 1 of our exploration of this really fascinating issue of Black Pearl.
Awesome. Picking up where we left off last time, let's dive a little deeper into this world of aethers.
Okay.
Remember the 18th aether, ZNN?
Yeah.
The one we said has the Vault of the Adepts, a place of super intense transformation.
Right, and you mentioned some pretty intense challenges.
Oh, yeah.
For anyone who enters ZNN unprepared.
Big time.
The 3 ordeals, the desires for light, life, and love.
Yeah.
I don't know, those really stuck with me.
I get it.
It's crazy how, even positive desires can become obstacles.
Right. It's all about context, isn't it?
I guess so.
Within the framework of ZN, those desires, They represent attachments.
Attachments.
Yeah, things that we need to let go of.
Okay.
If we want to achieve, true spiritual liberation.
So you're saying it's not about denying those desires.
No, not at all.
But more like understanding how they can bind us.
Exactly.
If we're not careful.
That's it.
The article also mentioned those sacraments offered in Zia.
Yeah, bread, wit, a rose, and wine.
Right. And each one represents...
different element and aspect of being.
It's almost like a ritual.
Like a final preparation.
Yeah, yeah. A way of, like, acknowledging and embracing everything we are.
Before we surrender to the unknown.
That's beautiful.
Isn't it?
It was...
a really powerful image of wholeness.
And speaking of preparation...
yeah.
We talked about that accompanying article, right? Sacraments of Annihilation.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Which offers invocations for each element.
Okay.
Like a guide for anyone.
For the brave souls.
Yeah.
Venturing into Zen.
It's like providing a framework for working with these energies and preparing for that.
Intense experience of spiritual annihilation.
Oh, okay. Wow. That is some heavy stuff.
It is.
I think maybe we should shift gears a little bit. Yeah. Maybe to the 17th ether.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hey.
Pan.
Which seems to be all about...
about what?
Truth and justice.
Truth and justice. Okay.
Now, what's interesting is Tan is associated with...
with what?
Netzach and Braya.
Netzach and Braya.
The realm of Venus.
Okay.
So we're seeing this blending of Venusian themes, right? Beauty, harmony, love.
Okay.
With this concept of divine justice.
So it's not just about punishment.
No, it's not just about punishment.
It's about restoring balance and harmony.
Yeah, the article specifically mentions that Tan is expressed through the symbolism of Libra.
Libra, okay.
Which is Venus's house by day.
Right.
And Libra, of course, is the sign of equilibrium.
It's suggesting that truth and justice are, like, intimately connected to this restoration of balance.
It's like the scales of justice.
The scales, yeah.
Right. Finding that point of equilibrium.
Where everything's weighed fairly.
I'm noticing a theme here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this idea of balance keeps popping up.
Yeah, whether it's like balancing the elements inside us.
Right.
Or aligning our will with a higher self. Mm-hmm. Or even, the scales of justice.
It's like a fundamental principle.
You got it.
This idea of balance reflects that Hermetic axiom, right?
Which one?
As above, so below, suggesting that the universe strives for...
equilibrium.
Equilibrium, yeah.
And if we align ourselves with that principle, we can tap into a powerful force, transformation, personal and spiritual.
The article also gets into the symbolism of the feather of Ma'at, the Egyptian goddess of truth.
Okay.
And it says the feather is blue.
Blue, why blue?
Because the truth of justice is mercy.
It's a beautiful image.
It is. It's like true justice isn't about harsh judgment or punishment.
It's about understanding, compassion.
And ultimately...
forgiveness. Recognizing that we're all connected.
Yeah.
Striving for a resolution that, benefits everyone.
There's that balance again.
There it is.
True justice isn't found in extremes.
It's found in the middle ground.
Yeah.
Where those opposing forces can coexist.
Okay, let's move on to the 16th ether.
Yeah.
LEA.
LEA. Yeah.
This one seems to be all about transitions.
Transitions, like what?
Specifically, the shift from the old eon of Osiris to the new eon of Horus.
Oh, Horus, got it.
LEA gives this really powerful visual to represent this transition.
What is it?
It describes a dying king.
Oh, wow.
Stripped of his regalia.
Okay. And
the emergence of this powerful virgin goddess.
Interesting.
So the dying king, he represents...
the old order.
The old order.
Like the patriarchal structure is fading away.
And the virgin goddess represents...
something new.
Yeah.
A more balanced way of being.
She's associated with Nuit and Hadith, the primary deities of Thelema, and her emergence...
he signals a shift.
Yeah, towards a more liberated and empowered way.
Of experiencing the divine...
This aether, it corresponds to Tefereth in Braya,
okay.
Which is also associated with the Adeptus Minor grade, and the knowledge and conversation of the Holy Guardian Angel.
So this transition from the old eon to the new one, it's deeply connected.
To the individual spiritual journey.
Okay.
The article talks about the experience of attaining knowledge and conversation. And it says it's profoundly moving beyond description.
Hard to put into words.
And it really emphasizes personal experience.
The direct gnosis.
It's not just about reading and studying.
Right, it's about actually doing it.
Yeah, putting those principles into practice.
And experiencing that transformative power for yourself.
It all comes back.
Self-discovery.
Oh,
Lima encourages us to go beyond, dogma and received wisdom to forge our own path.
Okay, let's peek into the 15th ether.
Okay.
OXO.
OXO.
This one seems to be a journey into,
the subconscious.
The subconscious, yeah.
OXO is associated with the letter Samek.
Samek.
And the path that connects Tefereth and Yesod on the Tree of Life.
Right.
It's a realm of, hidden forces.
The article mentions Babylon.
Or Babylon, the Scarlet Woman.
What's her significance here?
Well, she represents, the liberation of desire.
Okay.
That untamed, ecstatic energy.
Ugh.
The feminine divine.
So in OXO...
Yeah, she embodies the raw power of the subconscious.
Those primal urges and instincts.
Buried deep down.
And the article warns about the dangers of encountering these forces.
Yeah, if you're not prepared.
It's unprepared, right?
It could be overwhelming.
OXO is described as a place of...
intense and terrible beauty.
Wow. So how do you...
how do you navigate that?
How do you navigate that safely?
Well, the article suggests approaching these forces with respect and a willingness to learn.
Recognizing the power of the subconscious, right? But learning to work with it.
Instead of being controlled by it.
It's about finding that balance again.
There it is.
This time between...
repression and indulgence.
Right. Between denying our shadow side and being consumed by it.
You got it.
Integrating all aspects of ourselves, the light and the shadow.
To create a more whole and integrated being.
And Thelema, it gives us a framework for doing that.
It does.
It's about understanding that love is the law, love under will.
Right.
Even the darkest parts of ourselves.
Can be transformed and integrated into a more holistic understanding.
Okay, that was quite a journey.
What's
the ethers? I feel a little overwhelmed, to be honest.
Me too. It's a lot.
But also kind of inspired.
Oh, yeah.
By just how vast and complex these inner realms are.
Absolutely.
It really highlights the depth and richness of Thelemic thought.
Yeah.
And all those possibilities for exploration and discovery.
It's a lifelong journey.
It is.
We've only just scratched the surface here.
Yeah.
But maybe for now. We should move on to some of the other articles.
Okay.
I'm really interested in Liber Harb, a Liber of the magical memory.
Oh, yeah, that one caught my eye, too.
It's all about using memory.
As a magical tool.
As a magical tool, exactly.
It goes beyond, simple memorization.
Yeah.
And it explores how to cultivate a deeper understanding of symbolic language.
Unlocking hidden meaning.
Yeah, within Thelemic texts.
Developing a magical memory.
Magical memory that can perceive those subtle layers of meaning.
Woven into those writings.
I love that. A secret decoder ring.
A decoder ring.
For unlocking the mysteries of Thelema.
But it goes deeper than that.
Deeper than that.
It's not just about decoding.
Okay.
It's about developing a way of seeing and interacting with the world.
Okay.
That's attuned to those subtle energies.
The symbolic correspondences.
Yeah, that underlie reality.
And that awareness.
That awareness enhances our ability to work with those energies.
Magically.
Magically, exactly.
Okay, next up we have the 7 talismans of the Sabbath.
The 7 talismans, right.
Now we're getting into magical objects, right?
Yeah, and their uses.
This section explores the creation and use of talismans.
Okay.
Each one associated with a planet.
Right.
Designed to invoke its energies.
So it's like a collection of magical tools.
Like a magician's toolkit.
Yeah.
With each talisman representing a different instrument.
But there's a catch.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is it?
Talismans, they're not inherently powerful.
Really?
No.
How so?
Their effectiveness depends entirely on the magician using them.
Okay.
Their intention and will.
So they're more like
lenses.
Lenses.
Focusing and amplifying our magical intent.
But the true source of power comes from within.
Always from within.
That reminds me of that saying, the map is not the territory.
Oh, I like that.
The talismans, they're like maps.
Yeah, they guide us.
But the real journey happens.
On the inside.
On the inside, yeah.
Magical tools and rituals and practices, they're most effective when they're aligned with our deepest aspirations.
Okay, let's turn our attention now to Notes on the Kabbalah.
Notes on the Kabbalah, okay.
We're getting back into the philosophy.
Back to philosophy.
Of Thelemic thought.
All right.
This section gives us a peek
A peek into what?
Into Kabbalah.
Kabbalah, okay.
And how it relates to thelemic practice.
Highlighting correspondences.
Correspondences.
Yeah, that idea that everything's interconnected.
So it's about recognizing the web of relationships.
The patterns and connections that, like, make up the fabric of existence.
It's like realizing that everything is connected.
Everything.
Every symbol, every number.
Every concept, a thread woven into this, like, giant tapestry of meaning.
And Kabbalah, it gives us a language.
To understand those connections.
There's a symbolism.
Symbolism, yeah. Okay. The article also mentions the Tree of Life.
The Tree of Life.
Central symbol in Kabbalah.
What's its significance?
Well, it's like a map of consciousness.
Okay.
A visual representation of the different levels of reality.
Okay.
And the paths that connect them all.
So we're not just talking about a theoretical model.
No.
It's a practical tool.
For our own spiritual evolution.
It can help us figure out where we are, where we're going.
What's next?
What challenges we might face.
It helps us understand the connections between
the
Sephiroth, those emanations on the Tree of Life.
So we can work with those energies more effectively.
In our magical practice.
Okay, moving on to Liber DCL Exial Vel Pyramidos.
Liber DCL Exial Vel Pyramidos.
Yeah, right.
Super mystical.
This ritual text explores the symbolism of the pyramid.
The pyramid, okay.
And its connections to
spiritual initiation.
Spiritual initiation, yeah.
The pyramid is a representation of, like, the soul's ascent.
From the material world.
Upwards towards the divine.
The pyramid itself,
yeah.
like a roadmap.
Of the spiritual journey.
The broad base represents
the material world.
The ascending apex points to
it's a spiritual realm.
It's a visual metaphor for, like, rising above our limitations.
Our earthly limitations.
And striving to get it.
This journey of spiritual ascent is central to the great work in Thelema.
Thelema is all about achieving spiritual enlightenment.
Right. Uniting with the divine.
Fulfilling our true will.
The pyramid symbolism captures that perfectly.
It does.
Okay, next we have the Tao.
The Tao.
I'm curious about, like, how Eastern philosophy
intersects with Thelema. Yeah.
This article explores
the principles of Taoism
and highlights Wu Wei.
Wu Wei.
Which is often translated as effortless action.
Or non-doing.
That sounds like a completely different approach.
It is.
Than what we see in the West.
Especially with ritual magic.
Yeah.
But it's not about being passive.
Yeah.
It's about understanding
that there's a natural order to things.
There is.
A flow of energy. Yeah, we can either resist it
or harmonize with it.
Wu Wei is about finding that harmony.
Okay.
Allowing things to unfold naturally.
So it's more about aligning our actions with
the natural order.
Yeah.
Than trying to force our will.
Okay, let's move on to the Gnostic Mass.
The Gnostic Mass.
This ritual seems really important.
It is. It's one of the central rituals of Thelema.
It's often described as like a sacrament.
Of the Eon of Horus.
Right.
A ceremony that celebrates life, love.
The pursuit of the divine.
Embodies the principles of Thelema.
And it's a communal ritual, right?
It is.
Emphasizing that we need to come together as a community.
Yeah, to celebrate and affirm.
Our shared humanity.
It's a beautiful expression of unity and connection.
Recognizing that we're all part of
something bigger, than ourselves.
Okay, now let's explore theurgy.
Which
seems to get into
the mystical stuff. Theurgy is using ritual and magic. Achieve union with the divine.
So it's not about manipulating external forces for personal gain.
It's about changing ourselves.
Aligning our will.
With the divine.
It's about recognizing that true power comes from
surrender,
domination, aligning ourselves.
Yeah, with the forces of creation.
Becoming channels for the manifestation of
divine will.
Okay, next we have
what?
The Book of Lies.
The Book of Lies. What a title.
I know, right?
It's a collection of cryptic and paradoxical teachings.
Why?
Aleister Crowley.
Designed to challenge our thinking.
And provoke introspection.
It's not an easy read.
No, it's not.
It forces us to confront, like,
uncomfortable truths.
Yeah, about ourselves and the universe.
Like a book of riddles.
Designed to shake us up.
Yeah, get us thinking.
Out of our complacency.
Crowley called it a book of initiation.
A text that guides the reading.
The process of
a spiritual
awakening and self-discovery.
It's not about easy answers. It's about sparking, like,
inquiry within the reader's mind.
And that really aligns with
the spirit of Thelema.
The spirit of Thelema.
Constantly questioning, challenging, refining our understanding.
It's a journey that never ends.
It doesn't.
Okay, finally we arrive at the heart of the master.
The heart of the master.
What qualities define
a true master?
A true master in the Thelemic tradition.
This section describes a master's heart as, like, filled with compassion.
Okay.
Free from attachment.
Radiating peace and understanding.
Profound peace and understanding.
So it's not about power.
No. It's about love and wisdom.
And selfless service.
The Thelemic master is not domineering.
Okay.
They're like a beacon of light.
Guiding others.
Yeah, on their own journeys.
They've transcended their ego.
And they radiate unconditional love and acceptance.
That sounds...
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like aspirational.
The culmination of, like, a lifetime.
Dedicated to
spiritual growth and self-mastery.
Thelema offers a path
to self-realization.
A journey.
Leading us to embody the divine.
The great work.
The great work.
To become masters of ourselves.
Okay, wow, what an incredible journey.
It was, wasn't it?
Through the Thelemic landscape.
From philosophy to practical application.
Yeah, the aethers to magical tools and rituals.
It's a lot to take in.
It is.
But that's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
It challenges us.
To expand our understanding.
To expand our assumptions.
To embrace the mystery.
And complexity of existence.
It reminds us that self-discovery, it's an ongoing process.
But a lifelong adventure.
For growth and transformation.
What resonated most strongly with you?
Ooh, good question. I'd love to hear your thoughts too.
Yeah.
It's always fascinating to see how these ideas land with different people.
Before we move on to part 3, how do you see these Thelemic principles playing out in your life?
Another good question.
How are you integrating these ideas into your daily practice?
That's something to think about. I encourage all our listeners to reflect on that too.
Yeah.
How can we apply these principles in a meaningful way?
Yeah.
How can we embody the wisdom of Thelema in our everyday lives?
We'll explore these questions further.
In part 3?
In part 3, so stay tuned.
Oh.
Okay, so welcome back for part 3 of our deep dive. I'm still thinking about all the incredible stuff we covered in the last 2 parts.
I know, right? It's amazing how much they fit into a single issue.
It is. It really speaks to how deep and how complex Thelemic thought is.
Absolutely. Like, there's always something new to discover, a new perspective.
Yeah.
A deeper layer of meaning.
Okay, so before we get too lost in philosophy land, let's get back to some of those more practical articles.
Okay.
Remember Liber the Sharb, a Liber of the magical memory?
Oh, yeah, the one about developing a magical alphabet.
Yeah.
To unlock hidden meanings.
It's like, I don't know, learning the secret code of the universe or something. Right. Like certain symbols or phrases, they trigger all these thoughts.
An association.
Leading to a deeper understanding.
That's exactly what the article's getting at.
Yeah.
Training your mind to see beyond the surface, to see the connections between ideas, the energies that flow through language.
Okay.
And, you know, once you can perceive that, you can work with those energies magically.
Okay, speaking of magical tools, we talked about the 7 talismans of the Sabbat.
Oh, right, the talismans.
And what I found really interesting was that the article emphasized the magician's intention more than the talismans themselves being powerful.
Yeah, they're not inherently powerful objects.
So they're more like tools.
Yeah, extensions of our will.
That power
comes from within.
Comes from within.
You're like, what's that saying?
The map is not the territory.
That's it, yeah.
The talismans are like maps.
They guide us.
But the real transformation...
Inside.
Inside. It reminds us that all those magical tools, the rituals, the practices... they're most effective
when they're aligned with our aspirations, with the principles of Thelema.
Okay, let's shift back to Kabbalah for a minute.
Okay.
The article, Notes on the Kabbalah, it introduced this idea of correspondences.
Oh, yeah, correspondences.
Which, I don't know, it really resonated with me.
They're the key to unlocking the connections between everything.
Seeing how it all fits together.
Exactly, like the microcosm reflects the macrocosm.
Right.
How everything's woven into this giant tapestry of meaning.
It's like realizing that every symbol, every number, every idea...
it's all connected.
And Kabbalah, it gives us the language.
To understand it.
To decipher it all.
And speaking of Kabbalah, we can't forget the Tree of Life.
A Tree of Life.
How do you think understanding that can help us with our Thelemic practice?
Well, the article said it's like a map of consciousness, right?
Or a map of consciousness, yeah.
Showing the different levels of reality.
And the paths that connect them.
So we can use it.
To navigate our spiritual evolution.
Exactly, to figure out where we are, where we're headed.
What we might face along the way.
Yeah, the challenges.
It helps us understand those
The other
sephiroths.
incarnations.
Yeah, so we can work with those energies in our practice.
Okay, let's talk about Liber DCL-XXI Vel Pyramidos.
Okay, that title.
I know.
It's very mystical.
So this ritual text, it explores the symbolism of the pyramid.
The pyramid, right, and its connections.
To spiritual initiation.
It's like the pyramid represents the soul's ascent.
From the material world up to the divine.
Yeah, the broad base is the material world.
And the apex.
Points towards the spiritual.
It's like a roadmap.
For our spiritual journey.
Yeah.
Rising above limitations.
And that whole idea of spiritual ascent, it's central to...
Great work.
The great work, yeah.
Achieving enlightenment, fulfilling our true will.
And the pyramid captures that.
Perfectly.
Okay, next up we have the Tao. And I'm really curious about how Eastern philosophy...
fits in with Thelema.
Yeah, how it all connects.
This article, it focuses on Wu-Wei.
Wu-Wei. Effortless action.
Yeah, or non-doing.
It's a completely different approach, I think, than what we usually think of with magic.
Yeah, in the West, we're all about, like, forcing things to happen.
Right.
But Wu-Wei is about recognizing the natural order.
The flow of energy.
Finding that harmony.
So surrendering to that flow.
Instead of fighting against it.
Okay, now, the Gnostic Mass.
Oh, yeah, the Gnostic Mass.
This seems to be like a really important ritual.
It is. A sacrament of the Aeon of Horus.
Celebrating life and love and...
the pursuit of the divine.
And it's communal.
The community coming together.
To affirm our shared humanity.
We're all connected.
All part of something bigger.
Okay, now let's talk about theurgy.
Theurgy.
Using magic for spiritual growth.
So not about manipulation.
No, it's about transformation.
Aligning our will with the divine will.
Recognizing that true power
comes from surrender.
Not from trying to control everything.
Okay, we can't forget the Book of Lies.
The Book of Lies. What a title.
I know.
It's full of, like, riddles and paradoxes.
By Aleister Crowley.
It'll make you question everything.
It's designed to, like, shake us up.
Wake us up from our complacency.
And finally, the heart of the master.
Okay, the qualities of a true master.
It describes a master as...
compassionate, detached.
Yeah, full of peace and understanding.
Not about power or control.
It's about love and wisdom.
And selfless service.
It's like guiding lights.
Helping others on their journeys.
It's an inspiring vision.
It is, isn't it?
It reminds us that the Thelema isn't just about ideas.
It's about living them.
Embodying them.
Becoming living examples of love, wisdom, and will.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into this issue of Black Pearl.
Wow, what a journey.
It's been a whirlwind tour of the Thelemic universe.
From the ethers to magical tools.
Philosophy to practice.
We've covered a lot.
And as always, I'm left with more questions than answers.
That's Thelema for you.
It challenges us to keep learning, to keep questioning.
And to embrace the mystery.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you've enjoyed this exploration.
And that it's inspired you.
To continue on your own path of self-discovery.
Until next time.
May your journey be filled with wisdom and love.
And the unwavering pursuit of your true will.